Evergreen Valley is a large, comprehensive high school in the Eastside Union High School District. Considered a high-performing school, Evergreen has been confronting some persistent achievement gaps between its Latino and African American students and the majority Asian American student body. These include disproportionate discipline and DNF rates, as well as classroom experiences of bias. In the spring of 2017, Evergreen launched the Brave Spaces initiative to elevate student voices, address implicit biases, and promote more culturally responsive teaching. A key piece of this initiative was to train 25 teacher leaders to facilitate equity-centered professional learning communities. The goal was to leverage what John Hattie calls collective teacher efficacy, or the ability of teachers to collaborate in ways that improve their instruction. PLC leads led their colleagues to study a small group of focal students with D's and F's, or who were generally struggling to thrive. They analyzed satellite data like test scores and grades, and then they began to gather map and street data to really understand what their students were up against.
We took the Brave Spaces approach to what we were doing in the classroom. In every class meeting that we had, or every group meeting, every teacher brought in student work, and we went down and took it apart and said, what do you think the student's doing? How do you think the student's being successful? What are some of the opportunities there? And Mary Kate, who is not with us, she reflected, I think everybody echoed the sentiment, that the best thing that we got out of this was being able to come together as a group and share the same kind of reflections, share the same kind of opportunities and the same struggles within assignments, and seeing that all these students in the life sciences, we also have two outliers with our biology. All the students were able to succeed if you started going down and looking at the assignment and saying, well, this is probably what I see. So, with that, our shared purpose was to implement various teaching strategies and methods, and we wanted to help increase their participation level. And there was different methods to do this, so we identified the students, and we went out and we said, how can we build that relationship? If we build the relationship up, will that increase their participation in the classroom there and foster some kind of in-class improvement?
Which strategies work best to increase student engagement? How do we assess the effectiveness of these strategies? And what are the roadblocks to student achievement, and how do we address them?
So there are often outside factors. It's not just what's going on in the classrooms, and a lot of other groups also mention that. Yes, how teacher teaches or how student feels comfortable in the class are important, but there are other issues that are outside the classroom which are way beyond our control. And students getting D's and C's, it was not just our student in biology, but these students were struggling in other classes also. So we felt that it's not just a biology issue, it's a school-wide issue for some of these kids. The strength of our group came from the teaching strategies we learned from each other. We never get a time to go to anybody's classroom. So we really, when people were sharing during PLC time, it was really interesting to say, oh, I did it this way, but oh, they did it this way. So it was pretty interesting how the students were participating. So I thought this was the teaching strategies implemented for students are good strategies, and that engage not just them, but they engage all students.
Part of the getting together, there was building trust with each other, among each other, how we were going to share, how we were going to come back together after we tried different strategies. And some of the things that we really noticed in talking with the kids, the DNF students, as we paid attention to them, I think this was common across the board, the other kids noticed. So it had an effect on them too. So it had an effect on us, but it had an effect on the students.
Anyway, it's a big group, and it's the first time we actually officially spent time and time and again actually reflecting with each other. So it's kind of like a Band-Aid. You start to pull it off, then you realize how bad the wound is or something. you get to see that sometimes it's not the classroom, and there's a whole bunch of items that indicated that there's a lot of things going on besides the classroom, other classes, and those all come into the classroom as part of their trouble. And so it opened all of our eyes, I think, dramatically.
The equity initiative at EV is in its early stages, but with promising results. The DNF rate of Latino students in math and English has shrunk by nearly 30%. Suspensions have dropped by 61% in the past year. Over 90% of teachers say they are more aware of implicit biases and now have strategies to intervene when they hear oppressive language on campus. And teachers are engaging with each other in powerful ways that promote collective efficacy.